I should say. And I'm still kind of smiling from last week, Nettie. We had so much fun talking to Mackenzie Aston and Jason Lowe from Caught.
Yeah. Oh man, we were very lucky to have them on. Mackenzie Aston and Jason Lowe are two incredibly talented people. Jason is the producer of Caught, and Mackenzie is starring in Caught. Actually, we do have a little bit of promotion for the show, and this is strictly just because we are big dorks about the show. We actually saw the show again last night. This would be Brett's third time, my second, and it's just so pertinent. Again, the playwright was there. He's alive. He's there. I mean, the issues are valid and so important, and it's just got so much heart. You know, it digs beneath just funny. I mean, it's funny and entertaining, but it's also just so pertinent and.
It's a fantastic show, and it's so funny when, you know, people say that, we're, you know, how can you go back and see a theater show more than once? It's always different every time you go see it.
Always. It was a completely different show this time.
Yeah.
So
there's new things that you discover, new things that you see, and we just had a great time seeing the show last night. And actually today we are bringing in one of our guests is Sara Stuckey, who is working on the show Caught, playing Darlene. And we're going to be talking to her a little bit more about Caught a little later on in the hour.
But if you want to see it, go ahead and go to their website, www.caughttheplay.com, or find out what we're talking about, and put in La La Land, which is our show. La La Land is the promotion code. I guess it would be. It's 40% off the tickets. This is live theater. It's definitely something that you shouldn't miss if you're in Los Angeles.
And they've been kind enough to offer their patrons 40% off.
It'll be going all around the country soon, most likely. It's been extended 4 times, so check it out. Okay, cool.
Now, you guys can see, if you don't right now have the live feed, you can see a live feed of the studio at ustream.tv/channel/CRN Studio Live. You can check us out. And we want to get calls from you this week. So if you have any questions for our guests, go ahead and give a call in to 1-800-336-2225. And we'll
That's
talk
right,
to you.
Holy Mary. We're talking about you, Debbie Fantasia. We're talking about you.
We would love to hear from Holy Mary and Debbie Fantasia.
All those Uncle Bob listeners.
Give us a call. We'll talk. And we're going to be back in just a minute on La La Land Digital Talk with John Alsedek and Dana Hayes.
Blue Hours Productions.
From Blue Hours Productions. We'll talk to them in just a minute. See you soon. On Broadway. Looking at them just gives me the blues. That's Neti Leddel.
And that's Brett Chapin.
And we're here talking to Dana Hayes and John Alsedek, the producers from Blue Hours Productions.
They are the creators of the Blue Hours Productions, yes. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you for having us. We're really grateful. It's so much fun already.
Oh, yes. Well, we appreciate it. We really respect your work. I want to personally just talk to each one of you a little bit about your backgrounds. We'll start with Dana. Dana Hayes was born here in Torrance, California. She is a multifaceted artist and multi-talented artist, musician, and has been basically using her, I know that we can't see, most people can't see because it's talk radio, but she has been using her voice for years. She's been a musician, toured internationally, had pop hits in Asia, and she just recently had to have surgery and they had to cut her vocals. So she's here. She's miraculously here 2 weeks after, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks after, but I'm mending so well the doctors wanted to strap me down and say, be still.
Yeah.
I'm just so lucky, I guess, good diet and a lot of positive energy from my friends and family, and there's just so many great things in the work. I think when you have good work in front of you, it inspires you to take good care of yourself. So aside from tripping over my cat this morning, I've had really no problems other than a little raspy, but I feel so good.
Oh, wow.
And there are so many people that are worse off. Give me a break. I mean,
Yeah.
I cannot complain about this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to heal. So
Well, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, she's amazing. She is firsthand. They told her there might have been a chance that she would lose her vocals altogether. So imagine that being, your number one.
She seems to have a good attitude, so that
She is
helps.
positive.
Definitely.
You know, life's too short. I've learned, there's been so many lessons just through this whole thing. So it's been really a positive experience, if you can imagine that. It really has.
Good. You've made it one, it sounds like.
Yeah, you have to, though. I think,
Sure.
we choose how we feel, and I really choose to feel positive. So,
Good.
What made you want to be an artist? Why?
Really not good at math. Didn't find any use for it as a kid. Well, I was told that too. You'll never need this. And we also had, when I was in grade school, we had something called the new math. You guys are too young. They decided to introduce this new math to us. And I had a third grade teacher that all she did was cry through the whole. And I just thought drama is fun. So they stuck me in a few speech classes and found out that I could sing. And I was very shy, but I decided I wanted to be in a band. And that's what I did from the time I was 16. A wedding singer, yes. I've done millions of weddings and have lots of funny wedding stories, probably for another time, but
Yeah.
I've always wanted to just write songs and be a singer or put on shows. I didn't really care about fame so much as just being able to sing and create. So it's always been in my blood. My dad used to call me Kate when I was a little girl because I was so dramatic. He said I was like Katharine Hepburn. So that was a silly little aside there, but
Oh, yeah.
So you're one of the people that was lucky enough to know what you wanted to do early, it sounds like.
yes, but a lot of hard knocks because I chose top 40 thinking that would be a way to get with the guys and be one of the guys and let's write. But back then, basically, you were just boobs and a voice. Oh, sorry. Go ahead and say
You can
boobs.
say boobs.
You
that's
can
okay.
say,
You can't say voice.
No, you can't say
you can't say voice on this radio show.
No.
God. But one more time singing Brown Eyed Girl, I probably would slip my wrists. And there were many weddings, and the club scene in the 80s was really bizarre. And I mean, I'm
So
grateful for all of it, really.
But that's interesting. You didn't go ahead and write your own stuff. You had to sing other people's things. And
Like a virgin. You bet. When I would try to write with the fellas, they would just say no. It was a boys' club, I'd say, more back then, unless you had money. And money changes everything, I guess, as we know.
Always.
There are a lot of celebrities out there, but they're not really stars. I mean, they can make records, but I don't think they have soul.
Well, it's all about, I think, Brett always tells me value. Why do you keep talking about it? But it is. It's all about value.
Yeah.
We talk about what is valuable to the community, to the people. That's why we as artists are alive and here. And
I'm so grateful for this show. It's so great. I mean, for people in Los Angeles that are all doing the same thing. So
in general, Dana, speaking of value, I know this is kind of a morbid question, but I'm a
love
morbid
it. Go.
person. If you were to leave tomorrow behind something, you weren't able to be an artist anymore, you're gone, what would be the one message you would want to leave with everybody as far as art goes?
Well, that's a tough question. I could probably ramble, but the first thing that comes to mind is be true to what you really want to do. Don't let anyone stop you. Don't listen to other people in terms of your songwriting. It doesn't matter. If you love what you're doing, that's the most important thing. So I'd say always have hope. Don't give up. A lot of my songs are about that. I've been around a lot of people and have experienced a lot of things in my life, both negative and positive, that it impacted me so much. But it seems like we learn through our hard times, maybe a little they're hard-learned lessons, but I would just say, hang in there. Don't listen to the terrorist in your head that always tells you you're not good enough, and just keep plugging through, because nothing is so bad that you have to give up. Just, you have to love what you're doing, and just be kind. My
That's
God,
right.
we're here for such a short time.
Yeah, and here you are today. You've survived through all of it, and you have a production company here with John Alsedek, which we'll
Yay.
get to very soon. And you've also opened up Corner Dude Records.
Corner Dude, yeah.
As far as your own music goes, you just did that, and that's pretty miraculous, because you can tell yourself a lot of things and then go nowhere, or you can tell yourself a lot of things and go everywhere.
It's just doing it. I just want to walk like I talk. So it seemed a logical place to do. I'm not good at business, so I thought, great, I should get in the music business and start my own, at least something, a little umbrella to have the songs in. And we have a guy on, I live downtown, and there's this darling man who sort of shouts and trying to bring people into his store, and people from our building yell, "Corner Dude, shut up!" And he's on every one of my recordings. And I went down one day and I said, I must shake your hand, because you're now my celebrity. You've been on everything I've recorded. And he was so
Right.
gracious. Should I be quiet? I said, no. I'm going to call it Corner Dude Music. It's awesome.
Oh, that's
right.
where you got the name. Makes sense.
Yeah. He just he shouts out there in Spanish and reads these little cards and hands things out and says, "Come into my store." And I thought, well, it's fitting. I live downtown. I love it.
That's right. You people are inspiration. Everybody out there listening, all of our supporters, and all of the people in general. I mean, art is what we see.
This is why we started La La Land, is for Los Angeles artists. We love artists. We have a lot of good friends that are artists, and we're happy to be able to bring people like yourselves on to talk about it.
Next up, John Alsedek, and he is just as inspirational.
So we'll be back on La La Land with Brett and Neti.
CRN Digital Talk.
On Broadway. Looking at them just gives me the blues.
On Alsedek. And Neti, you have some information about John, do you not?
I sure do. They are part of the Blue Hours production company that they just recently created. John C. Alsedek. Now, if you don't know about him, you should probably find out about him, because he's probably one of the most obscure sci-fi horror writers I've ever even could imagine. Ever. Okay, so here's a little information about his background. His first endeavor was Gullapalooza TV, an online horror sci-fi channel for which he created 3 series: Monster Beat, Crypt Parade, and Spooky. Okay, so, and it also, Brett, you were talking about the 2005 thing. Go ahead.
Yes, I understand, John, that you started in filmmaking in 2005. What sparked your interest to get into filmmaking at that time? I was curious.
Oh, and hi, John. How are you?
And hi, John. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. You
By
guys
the
are
way.
awesome. Okay.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, John. How are you?
Well, in 2005, when they found our plane in the Andes,
Wait,
No.
wasn't that the Turkish prison?
No, wait.
Okay.
No, in 2005, I had just gotten done with, you know how people are. They go through stages in life where they're still trying to figure out what they really want to do. And
No, I don't know that one.
Sure.
I'm glad you don't. In 2005, I was just getting out of one phase, and it's odd because all my life I'd been a huge horror, sci-fi, fantasy, film, and TV fan, and all my life I'd been a writer, and I'd grown up in a theatrical family,
Sure.
and it wasn't until 2005 that I had the idea, why don't I combine those and write for film and TV and produce for film and TV? And so I learned everything pretty much from scratch at that point. I mean, I knew how to write, but all the other stuff I had to figure out as I went along. But I started doing little web series, and in 2008 I had a script that I really felt strongly about, and I had sort of reached the end of what I could do in central Pennsylvania, so I moved to California and made a go of it.
What was the name of that script?
That's interesting. You should ask Neti. It's called 9 Lives, and right now we're pitching that same script to Sci-Fi.
And so, how did it come about that the two of you got together as the Blue Hours production company? Did you? Because you. Okay, so go ahead.
Oh no!
All right.
Don't put me on the spot here.
Learning
no,
curve.
Okay, that's the Turkish prison story.
prison. Yeah. No, was it rehab? No.
Which rehab?
Okay.
No. No,
They're silly.
I was working in a public access studio down in Costa Mesa, and I was working on one show, and Dana came in to support somebody who was a guest on another show, and we just got talking randomly, and
We just
immediately found
clicked.
out that we had a lot in common
Yeah.
and just clicked as people. So, a couple days later, I think it was like one day later, I said, "Do you act?"
And I
Would you
said
like to-"
badly, but I die well.
I said,
I love acting. I'm not trained. So, but I did get to die 7 times in a film.
That's wow.
Well,
yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah,
but
that was
he
fun.
was willing to give me a chance.
that was fun.
So I ended up writing a script around Dana, and she did awesome.
Thank you. It was fun.
And we quickly found that we liked working together. So
Sometimes you just gel with the right person,
Yeah.
and it really works.
It really does. And what and where can people find all of this obscure, fun idea stuff? Because this is really good stuff, entertaining stuff.
well, what we do is we are sort of specializing in retro-themed horror sci-fi for radio, TV, and eventually film. But it's we have a radio series in production right now. It's called As Darkness Falls. It's an anthology series, so it's like sort of the Twilight Zone for your ears. But that's in production right now. It'll be
40s horror radio, sort of.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Very good.
Sort of.
Sort of. Besides that, that once we're in production for that, it's going to be distributed by Speaking Volumes, which releases on audiobooks and also in radio syndication. But beyond that, we have 3 different series that we're pitching for to get made into television series right now. So, and they're very mixed lot, but they're all fun, very retro.
You guys are hard at work, and you can find information about all that at bluehoursproductions.com. Dana Hayes and
On
John
Facebook
Alsedek.
as well.
And on Facebook as well.
Blue Hours Productions, sci-fi horror madness. Don't miss it.
Dana Hayes and John Alsedek, thanks for coming in to talk to us.
Thanks for having
My
us.
pleasure.
Really appreciate it.
Well, come
We'll
back
be back
and see us.
on CRN Digital Talk La La Land with Brett and Neti. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. That's Neti Leddel.
And that's Brett Chapin.
And we have the pleasure today of talking to Miss Sarah J. Stuckey of The Play Caught,
That's
which,
right.
again, we saw last night was fantastic.
Was fantastic. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
And also of the play Gypsy, now playing at the West Coast Ensemble.
Yes.
westcoastensemble.org for tickets.
Correct.
And just to recap real quick, we did just talk to John C. Alsedek and Dana Hayes of the Blue Hours Production Company. And if you didn't catch their website, it's www.bluehoursproductions.com. This is sci-fi horror madness, and they're coming out with some new stuff that you're going to hear about soon. So, all right, go ahead.
So thanks for coming on, Sarah.
I'm here. You know, I'm having a great time.
And just to give you guys a little bit of background on Sarah, I have some information on her
Where did you dig that up from?
from your website, surprisingly. So,
Oh, right.
yeah.
I put it out there.
It
That's
must be
At least
true.
it's not
Yeah.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
Miss Stuckey hails from the great state of Montana, where she studied theater with an emphasis in acting at the University of Montana, Missoula. She toured with Montana Repertory Theater and performed with the illustrious Virginia City Players and the Great American Melodrama and Vaudeville. Miss Stuckey enjoys running, bicycling at the beach, cooking fancy meals for her friends. She is considering sommelier
Sommelier.
certification. But she's only in it for the wine.
I am.
And Miss Stuckey is a proud member of West Coast Ensemble Theater and Screen Actors Guild.
Yes.
Wow.
So, Sarah, you came here from Montana. You took the big leap from Montana, Los Angeles, and we
Yes.
hear a lot about that. People coming from other areas of the country to come to LA and pursue their dream. That's kind of what this show is about. What was the experience like for you?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, it's a good 2 to 3 day long drive. I packed everything I had at the time in my little Nissan Sentra.
Oh.
Yeah, me, my stuff, my 2 cats.
Nice.
And I was so not used to the traffic and everything. And I remember my first apartment even that I found was a garage turned into a studio apartment, garage turned into maid's quarters, air quotes right there.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds about right. And let's see, I think it was $493 a month plus I think $50 for cable, because I think somehow they paid for something else.
Wow,
I told
that's a
my
deal.
folks about it, and they're like, "That's more than our mortgage." It's like, well, I guess I'm in Los Angeles now. So,
That's right.
yeah, on the drive-in, I was freaking out by traffic, and I drove right by the Fred Cavley Center in Thousand Oaks. It was this big theater, and I didn't know what it was at the time, but it was big enough, and I said, "I bet that's a theater. I'm going to work there someday." And about 6 months later, there I was. I was on stage. I did a production of Pirates of Penzance with the Cabrillo Music Theater, and it was great. I was like, wow, this is that place I drove by and said, I'm going to work there, and look, here I am. So
Dreams do come true. It can happen.
very true. Very
Wow.
true.
Great. And you are a film and theater actress. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. I've been doing a lot more theater lately, which is really great. But I'm still etching away at the film world. They're two very interesting entities, and I'm learning about them as I go. And I love that part, the exploration of both. So
Do you have a preference between the two?
my heart's in the theater. You know, that's where I live. That's where I love. But
Why?
why? Oh, these difficult questions. Actually, it's not difficult. I mean, I come alive there, and I feel that I do, and I just feel so much at home. You know, when you spend any bit of time in the theater at all, and really get to know it and love it, there's truth in the statement. The play's the thing. The minute you get a group of people together that says, let's do a play, everybody jumps on board, everybody works together, everybody knows what the goal is, and yeah, their feelings get hurt a little bit along the way, toes get stepped on, and but everybody knows that they're only doing it because the show is what they want to do. And as soon as the lights come up and the music plays or the curtain goes up, and you know, everybody suddenly snaps into focus, and there you are. You're on stage with your family, and you're living a life and sharing a story with people that, you know, you care about. And yeah, so
Yeah, you really can't be a coward when you're doing live theater, because every show is going to be different, right? Depending on
Absolutely.
the audience, their take on it.
Absolutely.
And you have to just be in the moment and change with it.
yeah, no, I mean, every performance like, for example, in Caught, any performance that I've done with that, it's a different show every night. Well, I don't want to say it's vastly different, but there's always a subtle nuance that I notice for myself that's different every night. But part of the training is to stay in the moment and be with that moment and be with those people that you're in a family with, and they're going to have a slightly different show as well. And what you give and what you receive, you just be with that and flow with that, and the show still is there, and the story is still there. So
And that's not true of film.
I don't know. I mean, like, I think when each shot that you take will have that similar sort of feel, but what ends up getting selected in the editing process after you've, you know, cleared set and are on to your next show, you know, that's where they sort of capture the best essence, I would think, of what story they want to tell, and then they can put that on the film. And
With theater, it's only one chance.
one theater, you got one shot.
chance to get it
Yeah,
right.
with theater, yeah.
Another thing I love too is the energy that you feel from the audience.
Oh,
You
God,
can
yeah.
really tell when they're connecting with you and when they're not. It's such a great feeling when they are.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and when they're not, and when and here's the thing: you might think that they're not connecting with you, and you find out later, boy, they really were there. They were just quiet today, and that's okay. I mean,
Sure.
and so all you can do is not care necessarily about what you think they might be thinking or what you think they might be reacting to or not reacting to. You just tell the story. Just tell the story. Be with your person. Be with who you are, and you end up getting surprised every time.
Absolutely. How was your family back home reacting to? Were they pretty supportive about you making the drive and
Oh my
coming out
gosh,
to LA?
they still are. They're fantastic. I love my family so much, and I miss them so much. And they might be listening right now. I don't know. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. But yeah, it's they're so unbelievably supportive, and they want to see me and my brother's dreams come true, and we're working on it, and they're there, and things are happening, and it's awesome.
You heard it here. Dreams do come true. You can come to LA and pursue the dream and be successful.
And that's Brett Chapin.
And that's Neti Leddel.
And that's Sara Stuckey.
And we're going to be back on La La Land with Brett and Neti right here on CRN Digital Talk. See you in 2 shakes.
Treat you fine on Broadway. Looking at them just gives me the blues.
Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. That's Neti Leddel.
And that's Brett Chapin.
We're talking to Sara J. Stuckey of Gypsy at the West Coast Ensemble and Caught at the Zephyr Theater. For information on Caught, you can go to caughttheplay.com. For information on Gypsy at the West Coast Ensemble, you can go to westcoastensemble.org, or to buy tickets, give them a call at 323-655-0108. And you just opened Gypsy last night.
Last night.
Oh, goodness. How did it go? How was
Oh
it?
my God. It went fantastic. This cast is amazing. It's a huge cast. I think we have 23, 24 people. And we're feeling a little crammed into this, the Theater of Arts Arena stage, which used to be the Egyptian Theater Arena stage. So, so it's a nice little intimate 99-seat theater, and right in the heart of Hollywood. But the show it's such an incredible show to see. I mean, Jan Sheldrick, who plays Mama Rose, she's amazing to watch her, and I love watching any show that she does. Any role she plays it always makes me cry. So she's fantastic, and Stephanie Renee Walsh, she's amazing as Louise. Seriously, you guys, I mean, don't just take my word for it. Please come see the show, because
Who do you play?
I play Tessitura, the Texas twirler.
Ooh.
Yes.
Sounds
What
like
is
you're having a lot
Tessie?
of fun with that.
And Tessie is a burlesque stripper. Yeah.
You heard it here on CRN Digital
Yes.
Talk.
But I understand this isn't your first time playing a stripper.
No, it's not. But let me just make something a little bit clear.
Yeah.
The first time I did it was for The Graduate. We did a production of The Graduate at West Coast Ensemble a couple years ago, and it was just one of those random things where they said, "Hey, we've got this role, and if it doesn't bother you, kind of stripping down to like." It's almost about wearing like a bikini. You won't take it completely off. Would you be open to doing that? Because it could be a really fun role. And I was like, well, sure. And then I read the play. I don't know why I always read it after. I don't know why I do that.
I love it.
It's terrible. But and they said I read it, and it said that she twirls these tassels, and I had this strange moment where. Maybe even about a year and a half prior, a roommate that I had said, "Oh, I took this burlesque class and I learned how to twirl tassels. I want to show you how to do it because it's really, really easy." And so we were standing in my kitchen, not naked, totally like clothed. We're standing in our kitchen. She showed me how to do it. And I won't tell you on the radio. You just got to see the show. But it was something I was able to like basically pull out of a hat, and it's those actor's tricks that you keep like, and when am I ever going to need to know how to do this? And voila, there it was. I had to learn how to twirl tassels, or I had to do it on stage, and I did. So then when the role of Tessie came up, I was like, I just wanted to do it because it's my theater company, and I wanted to audition and just, hey, if there's a spot for me, great. And it was part of their vision to maybe have one or all or part or something of all the burlesque strippers. Maybe some of them have some twirling going on, and knowing that I was a member, and they were like, well, you're auditioning, right? And I'm like, well, yeah, we'll see what happens. And showed up, auditioned, and they said, we'd like you to play Tessie. And I said, sure.
It's all about those little skills. Sometimes those little skills can get
Absolutely.
you work.
Isn't that crazy? Because in Caught, you play Darlene, who is like a Southern Baptist.
Much more straight-laced,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, like
Yeah.
a whole exact that's what's so amazing about being an actor.
That's what I love about it, is you can be anyone, anything, and you know, you get to live so many different lives, and that becomes your life, which I love. So, yeah.
It's an amazing thing. I think it's we're very lucky to work in the entertainment industry. It's a gift. It
Oh
really
my
is.
gosh, yeah, it's a blessing.
Yes.
I mean, when you find something that you love to do, and you find that you're not too bad at it, not too shabby at it, you know, you start exploring with that more, and start excavating into that world and that life, and you start to find your niche, and then another little corner of that niche, and it's exciting, it's fun, and it's not for everybody. It's a tough road to hoe, but it's a fun, wonderful field to be in, and I'm just so blessed that it's been able to take root in the way that it has, even in just the last couple of years. So.
And what would you say to somebody that's considering going down that road and getting into the entertainment industry? Would you give them any particular advice? What advice would you give them?
Shut up and watch. Shut up and listen. Yeah, I mean, like you got to pay attention to what other people are doing around you, and observe. And you know, I liken it to driver's ed. 2/3 of the time you're sitting in the car while somebody else is driving, and you're observing the mistakes and successes that they make. You know, shut up and let somebody else drive a little bit. And once you get an idea of what works and what doesn't, try it. If it doesn't work, try something else. Be safe, be smart, study, but love it. If you don't love it, if you don't love any part of it, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yes.
Best advice ever.
Yeah. It really has to be something that's in your heart.
You'd be so dumb to get into it if you don't love it with every.
Well, and that goes for any profession, really. You know, I mean, if you absolutely love garbage collecting, I mean, not to sound terrible about it, but if that's something that you're really passionate about and you want to do it and make a difference with that, dive in, jump in with both feet, and do it with all your heart. Do it with all your heart. So.
And when you do something like that with all your heart, it usually works out. If you're putting your heart into something, it usually works out well.
It totally does. Everything aligns. The stars align, the planets align, the opportunities align, and doors open.
That's what it's about. That's what we're here for.
It's true.
Well, we're going to talk to you a little bit more about Caught and Gypsy and a couple of other things that are interesting about Sara J. Stuckey right here on La La Land with Brett and Neti on CRN Digital Talk. We'll be back, guys. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. That's Neti Leddel.
And that's Brett Chapin.
We're talking to Sara J. Stuckey of Gypsy at the West Coast Ensemble, westcoastensemble.org for tickets, and Caught at the Zephyr Theater, caughttheplay.com.
Yeah. And thank you so much for being here again.
Absolutely. It's been fun. It's great.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to get in, well, first off, actually, Neti had a little hello that you wanted. Oh, we'll skip that. Okay.
We'll skip that. We'll do that later.
Okay. Then I wanted to get into talking a little bit about your sign language. I understand you're an American Sign Language interpreter.
Yeah. Well, my father is deaf, and so I grew up just knowing it. And as I got older and I started thinking, okay, what kind of jobs can I do while I'm supporting my acting career? And so I did do some sign language interpreting generally at the university level, which is a lot of fun because I say fun because I loved school. That's me. But I would interpret like university, like Cal State Northridge. I was there for a little while, and they have a great deaf studies program. So if anybody's ever interested in taking up sign language, learning how to be an interpreter, or if they know somebody who is maybe a deaf person who wants to continue their education, CSUN has a great deaf studies program, and I think the National Center on Deafness is still located there. So great resource for that sort of thing in the area.
And a great special skill to have for your acting, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think so. It's afforded me some interesting opportunities Not a whole lot, but just a few where I can say, hey, you know, I know some sign language too. So.
And I noticed on your website you have a film called Soundscape. It's a silent film.
Yes.
Where you play a deaf person.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to me watching that because, you know, being able to tell an entire story with absolutely no dialogue.
Right. Right.
It's a real interesting thing to watch on sarahjstuckey.com.
Yeah, it was a fun little project. It was I think it was for a USC grad student who was filming it, and he was given the challenge of coming up with a short film that required no dialogue, that there could be no speaking, and so I think he found his way around it by saying, well, what if the character's no sign language? And while there's just a little bit of sign language towards the beginning, it sort of sets the stage for the rest of the short story.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Now, as we said, you're doing Gypsy at West Coast Ensemble, and West Coast Ensemble is an ensemble of actors.
Yes.
A lot of actors come out here and join ensembles. What attracted you to joining an ensemble of actors rather than just kind of doing it on your own and auditioning at random theaters?
Well, it's funny that you say that. I had never really heard of West Coast Ensemble before, and I found an audition, an open call to join a membership company, and I submitted for it, having no idea what it was, and I got in. And once I got in, I realized this is one of the top companies around. That they've been around for almost 30 years. They put up great work. Some are small productions, some are huge productions like Gypsy is right now, and they're always very well received. They have a really great following, and I'm really proud to be part of this group.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, they're proud to have you, I'm sure.
To find information on Sarah J. Stuckey, go to sarahjstuckeys.com. Again, she's performing in Caught at the Zephyr Theater, caughttheplay.com, and Gypsy at the West Coast Ensemble, westcoastensemble.org. She is a busy lady. And has big things coming up in her future, so make sure you keep an eye on her, guys. Sarah, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, thank you guys. Thanks, Brett. Thanks, Neti.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime. I'd like to say thank you to my godmother. Thank you. Well, thank you for being my godmother, and happy birthday to you as well. And
we will see you next time, next Saturday at 3 p.m. on La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. That's Neti Leddel.
that's Brett Chapin. Thanks a lot.
See you at the top, guys.